The whole draw in itself was a whole like theatrical thing, like a showcase, right? Just kind of Americanized it. I don't know how you felt about it. It was a little cringy, giving out peace prizes to Donald Trump and doing all this like skits and all this other stuff. So, I mean, whatever side you're on, it was a strange draw, like the build up to it. We all just wanted to get on with it. Welcome back, people. Feels Good FC TV, the TMV Exchange podcast. We are back with a brand new episode. I'm here, as always, with the Exchange. Jumpy Martinez, how are we feeling? So much is going on. World Cup, MLS Cup. What's up?
Yo, everything's great, man. I was away this weekend. I got to see the game, but like MLS is over, but it's not even close to over because now the fun begins. Now we got who's going who's going where, who's not, who's here, who's not, where you going. Here we go, right?
Yep. So Inter Miami take down NYCFC in the semifinal. We didn't get to touch on that, but unfortunately Miami triumphs there and then goes on to the MLS Cup where they defeat the Vancouver Whitecaps, who put up a decent fight. I mean, Mueller and co, they tied the game at 1, but just Messi and Busquets and Alba. I mean, he only needed damn near half a year up to Paul to win the MLS Cup. So, that's why I don't think as many people are as impressed, because it took quite a lot. And then you see Emil Forsberg last year just by himself carry the Red Bulls to the MLS Cup and get none of the praise. Meanwhile, Messi and everyone, they just love greasing Messi over there at ESPN.
Love it, man.
Yeah.
It's wild to me. I can't seem to think like how we just looked over probably a game that I thought was better than the final in the LA Vancouver. That was probably the best game of the playoffs, other than NYCFC Philly. But I think that this league right now, it's just all about what's happening in Miami, and that's it. Even if Thomas Muller and Vancouver won, it would somehow still go back to Messi, or somehow. Did we talk about how he hasn't won yet? He would still be the guy,
He's still going to be the poster boy no matter what. He re-signed for the league. He finally came out and did an interview, although pretty exclusive, criticizing the league, telling us what he thinks about it and the potential it could have. And you see him bringing all his friends over, but luckily no more Suarez and I think Jordi Alba, right? Done. So those two guys will no longer be in the league. I mean, I'm not going to miss Suarez, but one person that sounds like the Inter Miami team is going to add is Timo Werner, which is going to be interesting. Yeah, Inter Miami, I mean, they're Los Plasticos now.
That's it.
I don't think there's really a lot of people out there whose favorite team is Inter Miami. I mean, if you are, it's pretty bandwagon at this point.
It's like
but yeah, you see Messi, right? Pretty much. I mean, you saw them celebrating. You'd like to see them celebrate pretty seriously. They were in the locker room, and then afterwards too. I mean, it just kind of rubs me the wrong way as well. They don't have an American on the field. I mean, it's just because it's the MLS. You can have outside influence, but they've really made it a cult around Messi in Miami, and it sounds like they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, there's Americans.
Do you think they have a good chance of repeating this title, or what?
Listen, man, I was listening to something earlier, and, he said there is a good chance that you could see them going back to win. Because you know what? Like, at the end, like, Suarez wasn't he didn't start. Imagine that. Imagine being Mascherano and having Luis Suarez sit in the bench in the final. That's crazy. That just goes to show you what he has on that team, The only shout out I would give to anybody on Miami, Man United guy, Beckham. 1-2 as a player, 1-1 as an owner. Only guy to ever do that. So shout out to David Beckham and Miami. He created a cool culture down there. I was into Miami when they first started. When they brought in like the Pipita, when they brought in Blaise Matuidi. Like, I like those guys. Like, I like Yedlin on there, Breck Shea. Like, I like those guys.
Gonzalo Higuain.
Yeah, Higuain was the best, dude. I love Pipita, bro. He's the best.
When it first started, it was a cool idea. Now it's just, you added that Tom Brady. You're right. You added this superstar who brings this whole bandwagon, and his whole egotistical way of just his whole approach to everything. It's like, dude, we know you're better than everybody, but like, come on, be a little
And
bit
you know
humble.
what, too?
But
Like, they're like the bullies of the league. Like, they go around doing whatever they want. Like, how they disrespected Maxi, please. You know, in the series before, him and Messi, Maxi Morales and Messi had like a little tiff. And like somebody like grabbed him by his neck. And I thought, like, how does nobody on NYCFC smack the shit out of somebody for doing that to Maxi? Arguably the best player in your franchise's history. Come on, man.
it's almost like the players are involved in this like glazing of Messi too. So everyone kind of needs to get the stars out of their eyes and really understand that there's a lot at stake. And I'm good for Maxi for sticking up, but he's always been a stickler, start shit. So, but it's just cool to see that passion there. But yeah, enough of Inter Miami. We'll know they'll be back. I mean, it's another trophy for Beckham down there in South Florida. I don't see too many celebrities really on that wagon either. I mean, they're about to get their stadium built. Maybe that'll help with getting actually.
You know what the issue is? That in Miami, there's so many other things to do than go to a hockey game, soccer game, baseball game, football game, any game. Like it's Miami. You know, it's kind of like Vegas. Like there's so many other things to do other than going to see the Raiders, going to see whatever baseball team's going there.
Yeah, it is more laid back. Where in the Northeast, we're passionate about our sports, especially when it comes in the wintertime. Right now, it's a perfect example where everyone's main focus is on, the local sports teams, the football teams if they're good, the hockey teams, and we just finished up with MLS. Yeah, I mean that's the focus here. They're too laid back in Florida, and that's why we thought Vancouver deserved it. Great story over there in Vancouver. Hopefully Red Bulls can emulate a little bit of that and get back to the finals. Vancouver has some other shit to sort out with their stadium. Don Garber is still trying to figure that out. So a lot is changing with the league, as we all know. So that concludes the 2025 season for MLS Cup. And oh my, man, we got a great World Cup draw. So we can start to shift the focus a little bit over to 2026, which is going to be another wild year. World Cup draw happened. I know there was a lot of people in a lot of places. You were at Veritage, right, with Red Bulls?
Yeah, dude. I was at Veritage. We watched it there. Super dope. We got to sit with Ron Mitchell on the back three, and it was cool, man. It was a real vibe. I didn't realize how big everybody thought about this draw. I was telling somebody that I remember as a kid, I remember the draw, but the only thing that I remember from the draw was not the importance. I remember seeing Robin Williams because he just did like Hook or something, and I remember him being on the stage. I was telling somebody, I remember seeing Robin Williams at the draw, but that's what I remembered about the draw. I didn't remember until I saw it the importance of this thing. But obviously, it's a lot more magnifying because it was here in Jersey, baby.
Yeah.
So everybody here is going to be all about it, you know?
Exactly. I mean, the whole draw in itself was a whole like theatrical thing, like a showcase, right? Just kind of Americanized it. I don't know how you felt about it. It was a little cringy. You had Tom Bogert speaking about it, pretty outspoken about it. He went on BBC, spoke about it, and apologized, on behalf of all Americans because they're giving out peace prizes to Donald Trump and doing all this like skits and all this other stuff. So, I mean, whatever side you're on, it was a strange draw, like the build up to it. We all just wanted to get on with it. So once it finally was moving, it was interesting. They brought out superstar from each sport. Thought that was pretty cool. What'd you think about that?
You see,
And
I thought the opposite.
did you like all this extra shit?
In my head, I thought it should have been Pibe Valderrama, Cafu, Drogba, Ronaldo.
Well, they're not American. I think the whole thing was it's supposed to be a
US. But what you're saying is that soccer isn't on that level because nobody on the panel was a soccer. How do you not have at least Landon Donovan on there? Tim Howard,
Or is it their attempt to try to grow the game into other? They're trying to grab from other sports, kind of what I was saying, the cross sport thing, and getting those fans like, hey, I'm a huge fan of Aaron Judge. I saw he was at the World Cup draw. I'm tuning in because I like USA. Yeah.
I don't think so. Because in my head, I'm like, I can almost guarantee that there's no Bucks fan and no Patriots fan that's watching because Tom Brady's there.
Some people are just Tom Brady fans in general.
Yeah, I guess.
Some people are really like that.
I guess.
So I thought it was interesting. I mean, I agree. I thought it was going to be like soccer stars from around here, but It was they pulled one guy from hockey, one guy from baseball, one guy from football, one guy from the NBA. And I see what they're trying to do is what they're saying. They're trying to drag those four other sports and be like, "Hey, soccer in America is cool." Like this is going to be the whole advertisement of trying to sell the sport. I mean, in the league, I hope, right? This should be like the big advertisement of like soccer's dope in America,
Yeah.
right?
But you know what the thing is here in New Jersey, it's already really big.
It is, but it isn't. It is, but it is. It really doesn't move the needle. You look at any kind of soccer post, repost on NYCFC or even Red Bulls, a couple hundred. You go to the hockey ones, even for the smaller markets like the Islanders, the Devils, small tweet, thousands of views. They're quadrupling the attention that these our local soccer teams get. Soccer is big, yes, but our league is still ways away, and that's what I hope can gain some traction here, right? Was both of us is that MLS can be bigger. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Did you hear much about an MLS Cup? Like, did you hear about the championship? And did anyone else really like gloat about it? Did you hear about it on the news anywhere other than your Twitter or your Instagram?
Here's what I heard. I heard it. So I was at a wedding. So when I got done, I had on this TV that for some reason was giving us channels from like Chicago and like weird shit. I'm like, yo, this hotel needs to fucking pay their credit bill, pay their fucking cable bill, because what the fuck is this? But they were talking about it. But everybody after then I saw was talking about it, and it was because of Messi. But again, once he leaves, what happens, right? It's not going to be like that. It's not going to be like that. And we can't do anything about it.
We'll see. I mean, we're not on the other side of that wave yet, of the World Cup wave. Is it only going to benefit world soccer, European soccer? Because that's what I'm saying. Everyone's after, the money, and it's all competition. You think the Premier League and you think Serie A want MLS to keep getting bigger? Not really. Not really. Does it help that we can transfer with them? Sure. But they're the league everyone's watching. It's the Prem. So we're going to have kids be like growing up like watching MLS. That is the whole goal here with trying to make soccer in America big. It is big for people playing it, but it's not translating into the eyeballs into the TV. So it's not going to be easy. Nobody said it is, but hopefully this World Cup can do it. And there's going to be tons of celebrity endorsing. I bet you it's going to be the same thing. They're going to pay. I think they did that shit in Qatar where they paid people literally to be fans. You remember that shit? And I'm telling you, the same gimmicky shit and theatrical shit will go on here. They're going to pay celebrities to go on there and be spokesperson for World Cup, for soccer. And as much as it might be corny and cringy, it might be good to hopefully get more fans serious about our league.
So I asked somebody at the event. So we did the event with Rich Chuk, the artist who drew the World Cup poster. And we got to speak to him, and I was talking to somebody, I'm not going to say his name, that was there with FIFA, or he was like doing something with FIFA locally here in New Jersey. And he made a point to me that I thought was like, it's insane. The whole influencer movement, everything is being promoted by an influencer. Does that not mean that the real athlete isn't it? Or like, who are you trying to get? Because the truth of the matter is like, the people who are affording to like go to these games, they don't have time to play on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? So like, who were you trying to reach out to try to make this happen? But that influencer market, that's crazy how they're playing these people, bro. It's crazy.
Yep, they hype it up. That's what it's all about. Driving the hype, driving the attention to the game, to a product, to buy something. So it's gonna be interesting. We got a good draw, but nonetheless, I think the draw itself was pretty interesting. If people didn't know, I mean, we're all soccer fans here. If you're listening to this, I'm sure you know how it works. So
And then they had
USA got. Yeah, well, that was set up purposely. I mean, they had the Canadian guy pull Team Canada, and then they had the Mexican president pull Mexico, and then they had the funny thing with Donald, and then they put USA in Group fucking D, and he's like, oh, D for Donald. So jerk off he is. So it makes it about himself. But yeah, should be good. USA Group D with Paraguay, Australia, and UEFA FIFA playoff. It's either Turkey, Kosovo, Slovakia, right? Is some of the
Turkey
options.
gets in, it's going to be on.
Yeah, it's most likely going to be Turkey. Slovakia is not too bad either. Don't sleep on them. And then Bosnia Herzegovina is the other team. Uh, I would try. I would be between Slovakia and Turkey. Turkey's a formidable squad. That's the favorite to get into that group. So do you like great draw, right? I mean, with
Dude,
Australia,
listen,
I
man.
mean,
If USA can't get out of this, actually, let me backtrack. If every team that's not supposed to get out of their group can't get out of their group, there's a fucking problem. Because you have more teams than you have to, or there's really not really a group of death. Everybody who should get out of their groups are all the teams that we're expecting anyway.
yep,
You know? Um,
exactly.
Somebody brought up to me, they were like, other than USA, like the beginning groups are going to be whack because it's so watered down.
Yep.
So,
And this is the only hope anyone's going to be able to get into the World Cup. Maybe go see a watered down game. I mean, we say it's going to be watered down. We'll see when it comes to the moment if the stadium is going to be filled or not. But you do have some strange matchups. You got Egypt versus Iran and like Seattle. You're going to have, Haiti versus Scotland and Boston. So you're going to have some strange matchups in new places. But I still think it's going to be filled up. But yeah, with the expanded format, you full expect USA to get out of their group. The only travesty for that, if you're listening from the Northeast, is that USA will pretty much not be playing at MetLife, barring they finish, I think, third in the group.
yeah.
And they have to maybe win a game, then they might come over to MetLife. But for the most part, they're going to be in the West Coast. If they finish first, if they finish second, then they play in Dallas. So it's unfortunate for all our, New York, New Jersey people between here and Philly that we most likely will not see the U.S. men's national team. We'll have to stick with the other games we got. And I was gonna say with the group of deaths too. I would say between that France group and the England group, if I would peg as groups of death. I know Bolivia is not the strongest, and Panama isn't so bad after as they used to be. Panama is pretty solid. So Croatia, England, Panama, and Ghana is a pretty strong group. But yeah, you're right. For the most part, top heavy groups all the way around.
What about, let's talk about one other thing that we're on the subject.
The money.
What's the money, bro?
How you gonna get
How
there?
you going to get there? Who's paying to get there? If you're going on influencers, a lot of people follow, younger people follow. They don't have the bread for this. Who is paying for these numbers that we're hearing for the World Cup?
It's all in an inflated market right now. Super inflated, super scarce. There's only been one release of tickets. The second round is coming up December 10th. So if you're listening to now, I hope you've already signed up. Go to FIFA.com and throw your name in there. It's a lottery, so we don't know. There's going to be a third draw again. So after this December window into next year, there's going to be another window. So don't give up hope yet. But man, I mean, on the reselling market, now that we know the games and we know the times, we're starting to see it slowly trickle out, like the numbers of what they're going to be. And man, they're high.
It's
They're high.
expensive.
I hope you got the pockets. You know what? Just fucking open up a loan. Get a loan. Take a loan out. We know you don't got the money. We know nobody's got the money. Let's be real here. Nobody's
No,
got it.
it'll still be sold out. Dude, people travel. Like, it's crazy. Like, people went to
Well,
Qatar for this shit.
Well, I'm saying, yeah, you don't. No one's gonna have the money, but you're still gonna go. Like we'll find out. You'll find a way to go
Yeah.
regardless. It's the World Cup. That's what I'm saying. People are traveling all the way across the world for this shit.
Yeah.
The Dutch are gonna buy their tickets. The English are gonna buy their tickets. They'll be here. I'm sure as hell. Fact that they'll be here. It's everybody else. How much are we gonna pay to get
And
in?
you know what?
How much
Some of the numbers that
are
I'm
you?
hearing is only for the first round. That's the crazy shit. That as it goes and it goes, bro, you're gonna have to sell your kidney, bro, by the World Cup.
$5,000 a ticket, I bet.
Oh,
And probably 10 grand. I mean, it's pretty much right now. I've looked on some market, asked some people. It's pretty much $1,000 a ticket for a group stage game, England versus Panama at MetLife. Category 1, which is a lower bowl-ish time. So, $1,000 a ticket.
that's crazy.
I mean, as a fan, how much hypothetically would you want to pay?
So, dude, I'm gonna tell you something. I'll tell you a funny story. In 1994, we had a family member who worked at MetLife. I mean, at Giant Stadium. Dude, I couldn't even tell you if we even paid, but I remember we were there like every day, like literally every day, and we got in every day. And I don't know if my dad paid or whoever paid. I don't know, but I cannot even fathom it being like this expensive because my parents wouldn't go for it. So I would assume that it was like back in the day a normal price. I'm thinking 150, 250, 300, maybe 500 the most, maybe. But now, bro, these numbers are crazy, bro. These numbers are like mortgage numbers. What you pay for your fucking mortgage to get into a
Thousand.
game, couple $1,000. That's crazy. And that's only one.
Well, what did Yanni Infantino say? He said 104 Super Bowls.
104 Super Bowls. That's
Okay, so like they're really hyping this up, and right now the hype is there because the draw just happened, and people are starting like this is like the first time we're really seeing like tickets out in the market. So I don't know if things are going to change. Maybe at least for the group stage. I totally get when it gets later in the tournament, just forget about it. Really, with buying a ticket, you can hope maybe there's a rubber match, group stage match that you can get in for a decent price. But unfortunately, between all the traveling fans and just everything in general with the economy, a lot of people are going to be priced out. And a lot of older generation people who, like you said, back in the day went and spent a certain amount, they're not going to be able to justify this purchase. It's going to be really hard to justify, especially if it's not your country. It's not like anyone you want to see or something like that. It's going to be hard to really convince yourself and convince everyone to go into that, and the traffic involved and everything else that comes with it, to spend thousands of dollars on just one ticket.
yeah, bro. My thing is like, who are they pitching this to? But then somebody else, I recently heard them say to me like,
High rollers. I mean, there's a lot of high rollers. There's a lot of people who've got money. I mean, there's a lot of people who don't have
yeah,
money.
yeah,
But a lot of people that don't have money, unfortunately, are soccer fans,
yeah,
right? I mean, well, all of us fans are strapped for cash, especially if you're in between your 20s and your 30s. You're trying to buy a house, you're paying rent, you're just getting by. Some people paycheck to paycheck. Just talking about the everyday normal American. How can you make this game more accessible to them? Because this is who it's for. It shouldn't be for just the elite. And this is what everyone's saying is scared for, because it's getting to that level where it's really going to be for elite members, somebody who has a connection, or somebody who's, oh, I'm sponsored. I work for Coca-Cola and they sponsor the event. That's why I'm here. It's all about the nitty-gritty of who I know and who you don't know. And the regular mailman guy, he can't even fucking get in, even if he wanted to.
yeah. That's fucked up.
And it's fucked up. And I see the new mayor of the New York City mayor. I mean, Zoran, again, all political stuff aside, he's trying to get the New York City citizen at the World Cup. Like, how can he make it more accessible for the everyday person?
Yeah.
So I don't know how he's going through that, or what he's going to do through some kind of program to make a group of tickets accessible for New York citizens.
It's not possible, Steve. You know what else I'm realizing isn't not possible? People that somebody recently said to me, they were like, pay to play, such a big problem, right? I said, yeah. I'm hearing some of the numbers kids have to pay to play. And then somebody was like, what about keeping the lights on in the place where they play? I'm like, okay, that costs money.
Yeah, right?
What about the coach's time that's coming there? He has to buy cones. He has to buy balls. He has to buy this. They got to keep the lights on in the park. Who's paying? Who's cutting the grass at the park? I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right. Like, you think these guys are
And he
doing
turned
this?
this like a communist thing.
If it's like train for free, they were like, they're saying pay for play, like pay to play, get rid of. Like, okay, so we're gonna do train for free. Like, some of the best trainers are gonna give up their time so your kid could play and learn soccer for free. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's a problem. But if you look at it like realistically, it's like, that's really what it is. How are these people supposed to get their bread?
I know. Where does it come from?
Exactly, bro. Ah, Steve.
Your time is money too. Like, if there wasn't any money in it, right, how many people would be doing it?
1,000,000%. You know what's crazy? I just spoke to somebody else, and their kid's in the program with the Red Bull, and she said to me, I said, you know what the issue is? She's like, so what do you think is the issue with pay to play? I'm like, you have these teams who easily have more than enough money, right? And they could be giving out programs for free. But in order for you to get talent, there needs to be some sort of incentive. So I said what they should do is have their programs where people are still paying, like, say, Red Bull Academy, and then have a free one in the streets, in like parks, where the Red Bull could still scout on that little level to bring kids to this level. But that's how you could do this thing for free. Partner up with your local parks and partner up with the clubs and you have a free camp or free trainings that happen every day. You sign up and you play other teams, da da da, and then eventually they'll find a way to monopolize that. But I think that's a play.
It is a play. They got to start experimenting with some ideas of getting this deeper into the community and understanding because it's just so capitalistic, right? Everyone's like, all right, what's in it for me? What's in it for this? So I think partnering up with something that is naturally free to the public, parks, a ball, the street, you know what I mean? Just the
Yeah.
essence of the game, the soul of the game,
But it
that's
has
what
to
you
be at
want to
kids
get.
because there are street games. Like Kyle Martino's really big on advocating for no pay to play, but he does like a lot of street games, street pop ups that happen throughout the United States, Street FC, whatever that is, FC Street or Street FC, whatever it is.
Yeah, Street FCS,
He puts the game out there for free at dope spots too. Saturday's football does free pickup games, but it's not like it's a bunch of
connected to
adults
anything, right?
playing. It's not where the problem lies. Where kids that aren't getting a shot are the kids that should be the ones that should be doing this.
Yeah, yeah. Let's hope some of the new leaders in soccer and with a new MLS commissioner, I think coming, you never know what's possible. I think he did an interview, Don Garber, and someone again asked him about Pro Rel, and he said, maybe 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I would say there was no chance, but now you never know what could happen in the future.
Yeah.
And he's saying that because he doesn't know what the next person behind him will try to implement. There's always a chance in the future to hopefully adjust things, and it's going to take a long time. But I think we're on the right track if we get the right people in there and kind of bring some logic to the scenario and restructure it because it is all about getting paid because people got to get their bread, right? How are we going to afford these games? We can't. Everything's free, right?
No, for
What the
real.
fuck? Right? I mean, listen, it's the same shit. I mean, we got to do some giveaways. We got to do something to get people more involved for less cost. John Hark spoke about it, and it's a big issue in American soccer. And I'm glad that we have a platform. We have a platform of Heritage, too. So it was cool to see Richie Chu, guy who did the
Dude,
World
he's
Cup
the
post.
best. Yeah, he's the best. He's the best. Jersey guy through and through. He puts on.
Yep, Men in Blazers did their show in New York City.
Which I got shunned out of. Not talking shit, but I got shunned out of. No big deal.
Red Bulls had a few draw parties, so hope everyone had a great time at those parties. I'm getting World Cup fever already a little bit. I'm getting juiced up for the games. There's going to be a lot going on with watch parties and all sorts of national pride and things going around. So we're only just gearing up now. Real quick, to shift our focus to Red Bulls before we do our shout outs. Cade Cowell.
Oof.
Looking like he might get a loan from Chivas Guadalajara. The only American in the squad in an all-Mexican team. Very tough to integrate yourself
Once
into.
Donald said he wants to put the wall up, they were like, you got to go back to the other side.
Yeah. Red Bulls beat them, so in that case, we could just take one of their players. That's the deal, right?
I think it's a good move for them. I think it's good. I think the Red Bull needs somebody of their own to root behind. And I think this is a good one. Have it like maybe he can make a run back to the national team, but maybe this is a good play for everybody.
Yeah, big time. I think he could be a TAM player, so you can still bring in a DP. So Wiki Carmona, hopefully his days will be numbered. Cade Cowell comes in, fills in that role, can play alongside Forsberg, can play alongside Lewis Morgan. Easy no-brainer, wants to play here, hungry player, still in his prime. I think just has got to be in the right team, in the right system. So we still don't know who the coach is.
Ugh.
So, but I think getting a loan in Cade Cowell, good first move by Julian. It's not official, I think, just yet, but I don't see any reason why I
I
can't
always
get
say
over
it's
the line.
official when Tommy Bogart says it's happening.
Yeah, or last he said they're finalizing a deal, so it sounds like they're doing some paperwork.
Let's see.
We'll see. Dot those I's, cross the T's, and get that over the
But if
line.
that's his first move, that's not a bad first move.
Yeah, it's not a bad first move. And then he's got a big decision with that filling the DP spot. We also spoke about it off camera. Got to fill the right back spot, and we got to figure out who's going to be our starting goalie heading into next
They
year.
still don't have a goalie.
Still don't have a goalie.
Hmm.
We'll see. Maybe Galacci, but he's still playing over Leipzig, so we'll see. Maybe when the calendar switches,
That's what I'm saying.
right? It'll be easier to bring him in, right? Essentially.
See, this is what that's the rumors I heard. I heard the same rumors for a very long time, so I think that's probably the route that it's going to go.
Yeah. So we'll see. Michael Bradley maybe going to come in.
That's another
Jurgen,
thing that we keep hearing. We'll see.
right? Jurgen Klopp is still involved. There were still murmurings of him not being happy at Red Bull. This was way earlier on, but seems like he's kind of settled in. I know he visited the training facility, had the hard hat on in Morristown, New Jersey, getting deeper into New Jersey. A whole nother topic, but yeah, so still a lot to work to be done for Red Bulls. New York Cosmos getting geared up too. You still have that fourth team, dare I ask, at the end of this episode? What's that fourth team going to be? Do we know yet?
So it's going to be a team in Kearney, New Jersey. And it is going to be, I think the people that are behind it, don't quote me on this part, is going to be Tab Ramos, Tony Miola, and I want to say John Harkes. I could be wrong on John Harkes, but I heard from a few people that they already had a board meeting and they approved a stadium with a hotel. So Kearney is going to get a team. But it's well deserved. Kearney Town has the name Soccer Town USA. They gave the world some of the best American players, well, at least the foundation of American players where this thing started. Then now they're gonna get a team.
So you're thinking like a Kearney FC? Is it something like that?
It's gonna be. I would love it if it was Soccer Town FC, but that's not gonna be the case, I don't think. But they are gonna be in the same division as the Cosmos, I think.
Interesting.
So you're already going to have a little rivalry, hopefully. Patterson Kearney, you're going to have a Cosmos, whatever team they are. It's going to be perfect.
I like that. And this is what we need in Jersey to build up that local rivalries and, build these small fan bases too, like minor league teams, but they can get some buzz behind them with a couple thousand fans and fill up an arena.
Yeah.
That's a cool vibe.
Yeah.
A really cool vibe.
Yeah.
And I'm all for that. And then they all compete in the U.S. Open Cup. They get to face some of the big dogs, too.
That's the best.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
That's the best.
This is going to conclude the episode for today. We got to a lot of different things and tons of things happening in the soccer, football, World Cup, new teams entering the fray. Red Bulls still working on their stuff. New York City eliminated, but had a good season. So a lot happening in MLS and in the soccer universe in general. So with that, any last shout outs you want to do, Jumpy, before we head out?
I want to give a quick shout out to Rich Chu coming through, to Veritage, showing love, did the show. I want to show some love to you, bro. You took the ride up to come be with the crew. So
of course.
Shout out to you. That was what's up. I also want to give a shout out to Roger, yo. Roger, if it's about this and he wants this thing to grow, he's always down. He's always there. Shout out to Roger.
Yeah, man. Roger holding it down. Shout out Back 3, Mark and Veritage. Always trying to grow the game there, giving everybody a platform and a space to congregate and be together. And that's what it's all about, man. Building that community, being together and all this. It's bigger than just one thing. You're part of a movement right now. So it's cool. Shout out to yourself, Jorge, for holding it down.
I'm going to give a shout out to this guy, Johnny.
Yanni,
right?
Our boy.
That's your boy? Are you guys planning on putting the podcast on Spotify eventually, like how the Southward Radio was?
The people have spoken. They need to hear us on the airwaves, not just on YouTube. So it's a thing for Feels Good FC to get on it, get our asses on Spotify. So hopefully coming to a Spotify near you next episode.
Yeah,
we'll try
let's
to
get this on Spotify. Come on.
We got it. We got to give the people what they want. More accessibility, more involvement. It's supposed to be a discourse, nobody's like, I know everything right here. I have my jerseys, what I know about, I have my lane, but it's a people's club. I'm a people's man. So that's it. Steve Pontecorvo out. Feels Good FC. Peace. USA, go USA, Forza Italia.